This is a screencast tutorial on Tinkercad and designing 3D objects. Before we get started with the lessons, I just want to kind of show you around how to use Tinkercad. So up here at the top, these are some of your different options, which will make more sense as we move along. But if you click there, you can see you can add in a work plane or a ruler. And then if you click here, that's going to show your geometric shapes, your holes, your letters, your numbers, and your symbols. But you can also navigate through those just by hitting the drop down arrows at the side. So there's your geometric shapes, your numbers, your letters, your holes, exactly what was up top there. Okay, so the beginning here just says let's learn to move shapes along the work plane. This blue part, that's called your work plane. Okay, step 1 says now drag the light brown construction to the area outlined in orange. Be as accurate as you want. So I'm just going to click it to select it, and I'm going to click it and drag it into the orange area and drop. Alright, that's all it wanted you to do. So you have completed the first lesson. Go ahead and select begin the next lesson. Alright, in this lesson we're going to learn how to zoom around the work plane. There's a couple different ways that you can zoom. If you look up in the upper left hand corner here, you can zoom by hitting the arrows that way. You can see Elvis back there behind the red curtain. Up or down, or left or right will help you zoom. Then if you want to get back to how it was in the beginning, you can hit the home button. You can also zoom in by using this plus button or this minus button. And then you can also zoom using your mouse. If you right click and hold down on your mouse, you can move your mouse around and it will move the work plane in whichever direction you're moving the mouse. And you can also right click and scroll if you want to zoom in or out. Go ahead and pause the video and try each one of those. Okay, lesson 2 actually is what I just went over with you, talking about how you can do the same things or zooming in and out with the plus and minus arrows. So you can keep practicing or go on to lesson 3. Oh, and then lesson 3 is just telling you what I just told you how to do it with the mouse. And that's it for this lesson. Okay, on to the next lesson. It says it's time to create some tools, so let's get started. Start by dragging a brown hexagonal prism shape located in the shapes list. So we're going to go over here. When it says shapes, it just means geometric. So we're looking for the brown hexagonal prism, and we're going to drag it, click, and drag it to the orange outline there. Just get it in there as close as you can. You don't have to be perfect. It says you might need to scroll down the shape list, which we did. Move to the area outlined in orange. Okay. Now you can change any shape to a hole too. Now choose the hole feature from the inspector. Inspector is up in the right hand corner of the editor. Okay, so we need to make sure that our shape is selected, which it is. You can tell it's selected because it has these little squares around it. So if that wasn't selected, that's what it would look like. But I want to make sure that the shape is selected, so some options come up, and we want to choose the whole option here. So go ahead and select that. You're almost done. Select both objects by pressing and holding the Shift button while selecting them. Group them together by clicking on the Group button in the toolbar menu. Okay, so this item's already selected. I'm going to hold down Shift on my keyboard, and I'm going to select the wrench as well. I don't know if that worked or not. So we got one selected. I'm going to try it again. I'm going to hold down Shift, select the second one. You know what? I just remembered there's an easier way to group items. If you want to group items together, the best way to do that is to click and drag a box around the items that you want to group together, and then up at the top you'll see group, and then you can select group. Grouping them means they basically become one object then. Well, actually in this case, because it was a whole that we were using, when we grouped them together, that caused it to cut the hole out in that hexagonal prism shape. I want you to try grouping items a different way as well. So do me a favor right now, grab 3 objects, it doesn't matter which 3, and just drag them onto the work plane there. Drag them next to each other, and then I just want to show you what grouping really looks like. Again, if you click and drag a box around the 3 items, and then you were to choose group, you'll see that this makes the 3 items one. But you can change the color if you want by selecting color. You can change it to a solid color, or you can go back to how it was originally. But you can see once you group the items, they now move as one. So you can like resize them as one. You can pick them up and drag them as one. But that's a good thing to know how to do. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and practice grouping for a minute. Okay, after you practice grouping, go ahead and hit next. And then we're done with this lesson. So we'll hit complete the lesson and we will move on to the next lesson. Alright, one thing I did want to show you how to do before I forget is how to delete an object. So let's say that you put an object on the work plane and you decide later that you don't want that object. All you have to do to delete it is click on it one time to select it and then just hit your backspace button and it should disappear for you. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and give that a shot. Okay, this lesson will teach you how to drag, scale, and copy and paste shapes on your work plane. We're starting with the blank work plane for this lesson, so here we go. Go ahead and hit next. Okay, begin by finding the orange cylinder in the shape list. Here we go. And we're going to click and drag it into the little outline there. Go ahead and hit next. Okay, repeat this process again by dragging another orange cylinder onto the work plane in the area outlined in orange. So actually, instead of dragging another one, if you want to just copy a shape, copy and paste it, all you have to do is hold down Control and hit C and then V. You can do that a ton of times if you want. I just did that a bunch, and I'm going to have to delete all these. But you needed to just do it one time, and then wherever it copies, just click it and drag it over into the outline there. Now here's the fun part. You're going to scale the orange cylinder you just dragged onto the work plane to the height of 15 millimeters. Press and drag down the white dot at the top of the cylinder. So again, if there is no white dot there, you just need to click it one time to select it. And now here's the white dot they're talking about. You can see as soon as you hover over it, it's giving you the height, which is 20 millimeters now. So we're going to click and drag down to 15. There we go. Oops. There you go. Next, drag one more cylinder to the work plane and drop it into the outlined area. And then here it tells you how to copy and paste. Since it's already selected, I'm just going to go ahead and hit Control C, V. Click it, drag it, and drop it to the work plane there. Okay, number 5. The last cylinder needs to be scaled to a height of 10 millimeters. I'm going to grab it. It's at 15 now. Drag it down to 10, and you're good to go. Okay, go ahead and start the next lesson. In this lesson, you will learn to design a key ring. Get creative, create one for a friend or yourself. So get started now. Go ahead and hit next. Alright, start the lesson by dragging the letters to the red base. You can adjust the snap grid. Honestly, I don't know anything. The snap grid doesn't seem to be working, so don't worry about messing with that. Oh, and then this is good, where it says also your keyboard arrows are a great way to adjust shapes more precise. So if I had selected this A, go ahead and try this out. Select your A and then push the up button and the over arrows, not the button, the arrows on your keyboard. You can see that it just moves your shapes just a little bit. So if you're trying to get a shape exactly at a certain point, you might want to try those arrows. For now, let's go ahead and drag the letters into the keychain. Starting with your K, you just click, drag, and drop. Once you've got all your letters on there, you can go ahead and hit next. Okay, it says great. Now resize the red base to fit the length of the text. It's easy to adjust the length with the black dot on the right side edge of the base. So we're going to click to select the base, and you can see the different options opening up here. The black dot here, you're just going to want to click that and drag it to shorten the base. Okay, go ahead and hit next. Alright, it says clear your work pane by deleting any additional letters. You can drag your mouse across the letters to box select several of them at once to delete them. So if you want to, like it said, just click, make a box around your letters like that, and then you can just hit backspace and it will delete them. Okay, go ahead and hit next. Next, select all the objects that remain on your work plane and group them together by clicking on the group button in the toolbox, in the toolbar menu. Okay, so again, you're just going to click and drag a rectangle around the shapes that you want to group together. As soon as you do that, your grouping option is available there. You can go ahead and click it. And then, again, you can change your colors if you want, or you can do the multicolor option. But you'll see if you drag this item now, your keychain, all of the items or all of the different objects are grouped together so they move as one unit. Okay, go ahead and hit complete the lesson. This lesson is all about the work plane and how to make it work for you. Die is almost done. You just need to add number 5 and 6. Go and look around by using the camera functions to your mouse. So let's get started. So if you click and drag, basically what they're saying there is you can notice that this die or this dice is almost completed. It's got the 3, the 2, if you look at the bottom, the 1. So we just have to add the 5 and the 6. I'm going to go ahead and hit the home button to get it back to where it was. Now we're going to move the work plane to the front side of the die. You can find the work plane tool just above the shapes. Drag and drop the work plane where the blue plus symbol is, or you can hit the shortcut of W. So you could go up here and click on work plane and then click and drag it to the plus sign that's right here, or you can just hit the W, and if you hold down W, you can see this little blue shape right here. That's the work plane. You can drag it and drop it. Click it. Sorry, you can click right there and it will, the work plane will appear. That was using the W shortcut on the keyboard. Alright, your work plane will now appear as if it's sitting in front of the die. So this is the work plane we just dropped on there. It is sitting in front of the die. Go to the number shapes, and we're going to select the number 5, and we're going to drag it into the orange 5 here. So I'm going to go up here and click the 1 to get me there faster. Find the 5, I'm going to click and drag it and line it up with this orange 5 and drop. Okay, it says because the 5 is sitting on front of the die, we're going to need to make a few adjustments. Let's go ahead and scale it down to height of 1 millimeter to the area highlighted in yellow. Remember, you can change the view or zoom in to see the placement of your objects more clearly. And then again, the snap grid, don't worry about that. Okay, so right now, you always want to make sure that the number is where you want it to be. In this case, it is on the die, so we're good to go there. But it's telling you to scale it down to a height of 1 millimeter to the area highlighted in yellow. So